One of the supplements that we feel almost all our clients should be taking daily is an omega-3 supplement with both EPA and DHA, which are the most important omega-3s. This supplement should also be highly bioavailable, meaning a good amount of the EPA and DHA reaches your bloodstream and is available for your body to use. Over 50 years of research has shown that fish oil and omega-3 supplements can help the body in numerous ways, and this work is ongoing and very active. Today, we're going to cover 3 of the latest findings from this research. And welcome to this week's episode of the Nature City Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Pordelli. I'm also the CEO and co-founder of the company, having started Nature City over 20 years ago with my wife, Beth, and since then it's been our privilege to have served over 500,000 Americans by offering them the best supplements we can make. One of the supplements that we feel almost all our clients should be taking daily is an omega-3 supplement with both EPA and DHA, which are the most important omega-3s. This supplement should also be highly bioavailable, meaning a good amount of the EPA and DHA reaches your bloodstream and is available for your body to use. Over 50 years of research has shown that fish oil and omega-3 supplements can help the body in numerous ways, and this work is ongoing and very active. Today, we're going to cover 3 of the latest findings from this research. The first is yet another way the omega-3s may support heart and cardiovascular health. And the second study looked at omega-3s and bone health. And the last study was related to longevity and how omega-3 fatty acids may help slow the aging process from a biological perspective. As you may know, science has identified numerous ways that omega-3s can help support heart and cardiovascular health. Omega-3s can help you maintain already healthy triglyceride and blood pressure levels, support healthy blood flow, and help promote a healthy inflammation response in the body, which helps protect blood vessels from damage as we age, and more. A recent study published in the British Journal of Nutrition explored another promising way that fish oil may support cardiovascular health. It relates to reducing the number of small structures circulating in blood called vesicles. If you're not familiar with vesicles in the body, that makes 2 of us. I only thought vesicles occurred on the skin. For example, a blistering rash is made up of vesicles, essentially small sacs filled with liquid. But inside our bodies, cells use small vesicles to support many physiological processes, both inside and outside the cells. Like so many other substances in the body, balance is key. When you have too many vesicles circulating in blood, it can increase the likelihood of unwanted blood clots, which can impede blood flow and contribute to a more serious cardiac event. So circulating vesicles are getting a lot of attention among researchers as a potential biomarker of cardiovascular health. In this study, researchers from 4 universities in the United Kingdom looked at the impact of taking fish oil supplements versus eating either white fish or oily fish on levels of circulating vesicles over 12 weeks. 42 adults who were 54 years old on average participated in the study. The researchers found that only those taking fish oil supplements significantly improved vesicle counts and experienced a positive effect on blood clot formation capacity. The researchers were curious why eating the fish, particularly oily fish, didn't have a significant positive effect. They concluded that most of the positive effects on a reduction in circulating vesicles was primarily due to the EPA omega-3 fatty acid, and the fish alone did not provide enough EPA to produce a significant effect. Many people debate whether the most important omega-3 fatty acid is EPA or DHA. We think they're both important and help in different ways. Based on the work so far, it appears EPA may be more valuable for maintaining healthy circulating vesicle levels in the blood. Of course, much more work needs to be done, and we'll keep following the research as it becomes available, but very interesting results that add to the science library on omega-3s and heart and cardiovascular health. In case you don't know, bone health is another area scientists are exploring to see if omega-3s can help preserve bone density and healthy bone turnover. Bone turnover occurs as your body is constantly shedding old bone and forming new bone. One of the first studies that caught our attention in this area was conducted by NASA on astronauts in space. It's not unusual for astronauts to experience a loss in bone density, which is a consequence of exposure to weightlessness in space. As you may know, putting a healthy stress on bones stimulates your body to add bone mass. This is why being active and engaging in strength training is important for bone health. NASA did find that higher intake of omega-3s seemed to reduce some of the loss in bone density while the astronauts were in space. In this new study, researchers analyzed data from 8,988 adults who were over 50 years old, focusing on omega-3 intake and bone health. And they did find a significant association between omega-3 intake and better bone intake, with a catch. The benefit was more pronounced on those under age 60. When you think about why that may be, it's often said that for women, typically the 10-year period after they transition through menopause is when the greatest loss of bone density occurs. A woman is still susceptible to bone density loss after these years, but often the greatest rate of change occurs in this 10-year period. So if you think back to the protective effect seen with the astronauts, perhaps this helps explain why the bone health impact for those under age 60 would be more apparent. As more research is done, hopefully this answer becomes clearer. The third study investigated how omega-3s can positively impact the aging process, a hot area of research. An example of this was a recent review of omega-3 studies that concluded the evidence overwhelmingly supports the beneficial effects of omega-3s on the length of telomeres. Telomeres are a marker of biological aging you may have heard about. Maintaining the length of telomeres is important to help keep cells alive, and the science suggests omega-3s can be very helpful in this regard. The most recent study, which was also published in Frontiers in Nutrition, looked at the effects of omega-3s on a collection of 9 biological aging blood markers. The researchers used this data to calculate a measure called PhenoAge, which compares your biological age based on the blood markers to your actual chronological age. The goal here is to have a lower biological age score than your chronological age, which may indicate you're aging more slowly. In this study, researchers used data collected from 20,337 adults between 1999 and 2018 and calculated their PhenoAge scores. As part of this, the researchers found omega-3s had a positive effect on scores up to 1.1 grams of daily omega-3 intake, at which point improvements leveled off. In other words, there was no further benefit seen in the study from greater omega-3 intake above 1.1 grams daily. My perspective is the beneficial results seen on these blood markers isn't too surprising, given the many body systems omega-3s has been shown to positively impact in research over the last 50 years. As you can see, you have a lot of good reasons to increase omega-3 intake from diet and supplements. When choosing a good quality fish oil, there's a few things to look for. The first is potency. We suggest you target a supplement that gives you 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined. Second, purity is also important. You want a supplement that's virtually free of contaminants like mercury, heavy metals, and compounds that cause the oil to oxidize and lose its nutritional potency. Sustainability is a big concern too, and very important. You want a fish oil supplement with a delivery system to maximize absorption of the omega-3s into your bloodstream. We believe we check all of these boxes with our True Omega-3 supplement. The fish oil is as pure as it gets, with the right potency, and not only are the fish sourced from one of the best managed fisheries in the world, which is the Alaskan Bering Sea, the oil is extracted from scraps left over after the fish is filleted for use in the food supply. So no fish are harvested for supplement use. It's an upcycled ingredient, the ultimate in sustainability. What really separates True Omega-3 from others is the special aquacell delivery system that increases the amount of EPA and DHA in your bloodstream by up to 6 times and virtually eliminates fishy burps and repeating, which is the biggest complaint people have with taking fish oil supplements. This is a big advantage over regular fish oil. If you go to natureseed.com and visit the True Omega-3 product page, you'll see a short 1-minute video that demonstrates this better than I can explain it. That's it for this week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to see future episodes or listen to us on your favorite streaming service or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. This is Carl Pordelli, and I'll see you next week.